everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. So today I'm working on a design team project for JunkWithSteph, but it's a design team project with a little bit of a difference. So Steph has partnered with dAFi, which is the Disabled Artists Foundation Incorporated, and my understanding is that they provide art supplies to qualifying artists with disabilities. And so Steph has kindly offered to provide them with monthly kits to the qualifying artists, which is what they refer to their artists as, artists, which I think is lovely, so that they may craft along with everybody else in the crafting community. So I think it's a really beautiful, worthwhile cause. And as part of Steph's partnership with dAFi, she has asked us if we would be interested in helping to provide videos of crafting projects that they may be able to use as a reference if they're looking for inspiration or ideas to use the kit. So I am excited to be able to do this video. Firstly, I wanted to share the kit for this month. So it is the Vintage Butterfly Kit, and I have got it printed just on normal copy paper. Love, love, love this kit. So I'm excited to have a little play with it. So I'll just flip you through. And I've printed the whole thing on regular copy paper. So beautiful, just gorgeous. So there are 5 papers in this particular kit. There's 5 papers that are provided in this kit that is supplied to dAFi. If you're interested in this kit, I will leave links in the description below to Steph's or JunkWithSteph's Etsy shop, and you can have a look at her kits over there. Love that envelope. Okay, now I'm hoping I've got my information correct. And I do apologise if I have misspoken in any way, but that is my understanding of what the partnership is with Steph. So, for today's project, I've decided to create an altered file folder. Now, I was trying to think of a project that perhaps would be relevant for a crafter, but would also be relevant for a crafter who wanted to have a multifunctional item. So I was thinking perhaps something that could be used within the craft room or outside the craft room. So this is what I've come up with, and it's a bit of a spin on something I've been using in my craft room for a little while, and they are some storage folders that I use for my digital kits. So I have a foolscap manila folder here, and it is, now I've written down the measurements, it's 14 inches high, and this top sheet is 8 15/16 wide, and the back tab is, or back page is 9 9/16 of an inch. But I purchased it just as a foolscap manila folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scoreboard. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, the other thing that you can do is measure 12 inches down and make a mark on the front and the back, and I will show you what to do with that next. So for me, I'm taking my scoreboard and I'm going to score at 12 inches. And I'm sorry this whole thing won't be in camera, but I would have to be an awfully long way away to get the whole thing in camera, unfortunately. So scoring the whole thing at 12 inches. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard and you've marked, I would mark on either side and just fold it over. So, whoops, sorry. You would need to mark on the inside, or sorry, you would need to mark on the outside and then fold up to those pencil marks to get your fold line. Or you may wish to guesstimate. So I'm making this to fit an A4 sheet of paper, and I will show you now that we've folded that. So these are my A4 sheets of paper, and they will sit very comfortably inside my folder. So you can take your A4 sheet of paper and sit it on your folder and just fold it and score it according to where that roughly sits. You can see I've got maybe 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch border at the top and the bottom. So that could be your guide, is the paper itself. Okay, now generally when I've made these, I haven't done anything with the inside here, but I do get some buckling when I fold it, just ever so slightly. So I am thinking I might cut into that for this purpose, and I'm just taking the slightest amount out on either side. And I'm going to snip that away. And then I've had a thought for that. I did consider gluing it down, but I really like, on my other folders, I like the fact that I can pull that flap down, which is why I haven't cut that out on the folders that I've made previously. So it's entirely up to you. If that little bit of buckling isn't going to bother you, you can leave that little tab in there. But I thought I would give it a go with a slightly different idea. So just scoring those down really, really well. Okay, and that is the basis of our folder. So now I get to the fun part and I get to decorate. So, okay, so to complement my papers, I'm going to be using some music paper, and also I have here some brown packaging paper with some gesso over it. Now I do have a video that I will link in the description below that shows how I apply the gesso to my brown packaging paper. So if you're not sure how to go about that, the link will be in the description box below. So I'm going to use those to complement my papers. So first of all, I'm going to take out, so I'm not using the ephemera pages just now. I'm just using the full sheets, and I am going to decide which ones I like. I love that. I really like this one as well. I love them all, actually, the more I look at them. I'm going to focus on those top two, I think, and I may need to use some of the others. Whoops. I'm excited. Can you tell? I just want to start playing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to tear the edges off this paper. I've got white edges all around my print that I don't want on my page when I start using it. So just tearing my edges. Now, as far as this project is concerned, I was thinking about the practicality of it and the fact that not everybody may wish to use it the way I've been using it, which, as I said, is to store my digital paper kits in, although I do find them very, very useful for that purpose. I actually have a couple of magazine racks that I've made, and they sit on my desk to my right, and I keep my printouts of my digital kits in there, and I just find it's a really handy storage system. I love it so much. But I was thinking about the practicality for somebody who perhaps doesn't need to use it for that purpose, and I was like, what could they use it for? So a couple of ideas I had was, I think they would be really fun gifts if you were looking at something to make to gift to somebody. I think they would be an awesome account holder. So I was thinking about my bills and my paperwork, and I keep my bills in a pile basically until I have paid them, and then they go into my filing pile and they are filed. But I don't have anything to keep them in while they're waiting, either waiting to be paid or waiting to be filed. So I was like, a folder like this would be a really fabulous way of storing my accounts until I've paid my bills or I've put them in my filings. So that may be what I end up using this one for. I don't know, but I hadn't really thought about it until I was trying to decide what to do for this project, and I went, I really need one of those. The other thing I thought of, so I've got the edges taken off that. I'm going to work with this. I think I want to ink. I do need to swap this over. So just getting my vintage photo, Tim Holtz vintage photo distress ink, and I do want to distress. You don't have to distress if you choose not to. I like the vintage distress look, so that's what I'm doing for mine. Now where did I get to? I can't think. The other thing I was thinking they could be used for is as a homework folder for children or students. They could also be used to store artworks for children. So say your child brings home artwork from school or preschool or what have you, and perhaps you've had it displayed for a while and you don't know what to do with it next. You could keep a folder like this and they could be popped into the folder, and then perhaps your child could have a folder for each year, or if they're more creative than that, they might have one for perhaps each term or something along those lines. I just thought they could sit on a bookshelf in your child's room, or the folder could be displayed in the living area so that if family and friends come over, the child can have easy access to be able to do a show and tell, because they always love to share their goodies. And then it can be archived in the file for gifting back to your child when they're older and they want to know what they got up to when they were little. So lots and lots of ideas I've come up with. I'm not sure if you'll come up with your own ideas, but I thought they were really fun ideas of ways of using this folder. So I just think it's really multifunctional, and it will look beautiful by the time we've done with it. So I can't think of anything nicer than to look at my bills and not actually see bills. But to see Steph's really beautiful paper, I think will be gorgeous. So just adding ink. Okay, so I finished inking around the inside of this file folder, and I did do just very lightly around the inside of the little flaps. Probably not necessary, but just to be on the safe side, I didn't want any of the manila folder showing if I happen to see it. So personal preference. And I'm trying to decide where to start. I'm thinking I might do the inside first. So I have here some pages out of a music book, and they happen to be the exact size I need for, well, I prefer this side here, for the inside of my folder, I think. This one's a little bit, oh, this one's wider. That's okay. So the back tab is, or the back page is wider than the front, so that's fine. And I'm just going to glue them down as they are, I think. I did think about collaging, but I really like it as it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm just taking my glue book and I'm going to use my glue stick all the way around the edges so I can make sure I get right up close, oops, to my edges. And I have to remember there's a book edge there. So all the way across. And this side here. And I just remembered I did think about cutting off the edge of that paper and I haven't, so never mind. Okay, so now I shouldn't need my glue book. Close the lid. And I need to make sure I reach my edges properly, and I'm not as worried about the middle as I am about these edges, top and the outside. And I still get a really good fold. I am thinking I should have trimmed that edge. So what can I do? This is what I can do. I can fold that over and trim it with my scissors. Fabulous, and that's kept it off the crease, so it means that it shouldn't lift when it's being used. And I'm going to burnish that down really well. I do have something under the paper there. It's the edge off my book, my glue book. Oh dear, the bone folder got stuck in my bracelet. Just like some days are diamonds and some days you just have to wonder. Okay, so that's really well burnished. And I'm going to turn it over and I'm just going to trim off around my edge. Repeat the process on the opposite side. So I'll probably zoom you through this part. So I really love the way that's gone down. Now you could use, if you don't have book page, if you don't have music paper, you could use book paper and just collage the inside of your file, of your folder. Oh my gosh, I can't find my words today. Or you could do a collage using the papers. Like really, it's whatever you want in the center of your folder. So really happy with that. I do need to ink, and I'm not going to ink down the center because I'm thinking of covering that over. So this strip down here, I'm thinking I might collage using some of these papers that I have. I do kind of like the numbers down there. Or do I like this? Actually, that could be fun. And then maybe some numbers as well. Okay, so I need to, I probably should take my white edges off. Okay, and I want to take that strip off there. And actually I might, okay, so I just want to see how this is going to, I'm wondering if I want the butterfly at the top, because I can get possibly 2 butterflies in. No, I think I just want the numbers. Okay. So okay, I love the way that looks. And if I close it up, oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, fold it over and focus on the front. 2 music papers. I do like that side. Now with this one, we don't have the joy of having that bottom piece covered over, whereas on this side we do. So I'm going to just cut that little edge off. Okay, so that is the basis for the front of our file, and then we get to play with Steph's papers. I really love this. I do have this as well, which actually may be fun over here now that I think about it. I might do that. Okay, so I have my gessoed brown paper, and I'm going to tear a piece of that. I want to tear this out. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit all over the shop. I want to tear. I'm going to ink this. So this will be my focal point for my front cover. Okay, I don't know if you can see, particularly on this side, I've got some real curling in the paper from where I've torn it. If I fold that over on its back and just rub my fingernail across the back of it, I find that that flattens it out a little bit. So I often do that when that occurs. Today's helpful hint. Okay, so do I want to go that way? Okay, I'm just placing my ruler here so I know roughly where I would like to place the bottom of this piece. And I'm looking and I'm going to line it up roughly with the 10 on the ruler. That's how I work. Okay, so I'm locking this one in. Okay, I have this cheesecloth that's been tea stained. So I'm going to take off a big section of that. My poor old scissors, they need a good clean. So even cheesecloth has a bit of an edge, so I'm just going to take that edge away. So I'm going to glue this with the glue stick, again all the way around the edges. And see if I can lay it down to do the rest. I'd lost the lid for my glue stick. I didn't know where I put it. And I'm going to take some fabric glue and I'm just going to pop it around the center, and hopefully that will hold my cheesecloth in place. I'm just not sure the glue stick will be enough. It may be, but this will make sure. So I'm just using a Hellmars fabric glue. Okay, so I may need to go into the edges. And I'm just going to use my art glitter glue because my art glitter glue is very runny at the moment. Okay, I just have a little bit of gathering in the paper here from the glue. So I've got this little piece of calico and I'm just going to pop a little bit of fabric glue over it. It's just a little scrap I had in my scrap bag or basket. And I feel like it was meant to be there. I love that. Okay. Now Okay, so it's taking a little longer than I anticipated, so I may end up having to split this into 2 videos, but I am loving the way this is turning out. So I'm going to leave it there. I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're really enjoying this process. I'm so excited about this and I can't wait to see it finished. So I just wanted to say stay inspired, stay safe, and happy crafting, everybody. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.